It is the totality that speaks. The words of the Guru are the words of the Veda. Veda is only heard from the Guru. So Guru means the totality. And if one is in the sense of Guru all the time, one is in the sense of total natural law and its total organizing power, and there is nothing greater than that. That's why Guru is completely natural in our awareness. It's not a matter of anything that is from outside or anything. It's completely natural. It's simple. It's totality. It's a great thing. It's a great thing. One knows it in being that level of relationship. Na Guru Radhikam. There is nothing greater than Guru, nothing greater than Guru. And Guru Purnima is the full moon of the Guru, one day of the year. In the Vedic calendar, each day is attributed to some devata, to some special creative intelligence. Sun, moon and all that, Shiva, Vishnu, all the enormous number of the devatas, embodiments of the Kriya Shakti. Kriya Shakti is the power of action. Two things basically, there is silence and action. Silence and activity. Infinite silence and infinite activity, and both in perfect accord with each other. Perfect silence, perfect dynamism, this is Brahma, this is totality. And Guru is totality. He has, in the Vedic literature, just with reference to what Dr. John Hagelin just said, that it is said, Tripadashyamritam Divi. That means 3/4 is Amrit. Amrit means eternal. 3/4 is eternal. 1/4 is juggling around. So 3/4 is eternal. This is what makes us stand on our own feet eternally, that we are embedded in the 3/4 of the, you mark, Dr. Hagelin said, unmanifest. This unmanifest, this avyakta, unmanifest, is 3/4 and manifest is 1/4. 3/4 is unmanifest, 1/4 is manifest. So the changes take place in the unmanifest. What continues in the field of flow is 3/4, 3/4, 3/4. So the dominant factor is 3/4 of totality. Little fluctuations come in this field of relative. That's why relative is just a matter of a concept. Reality belongs to the non-changing eternity, absolute eternity, absolute eternity, absolute. So this whole thing is very real. The other day I talked about this, this absolute number. Today reference was made to the number. Absolute number is that which guides the equations of the Brahman consciousness. How life is lived in relativity, even though saturated with absolute value. Absolute value means togetherness of silence and dynamism together. Together, dynamism and silence, unity, but some frail fluctuations of the relativity. There is a word in the Vedic literature, Jivan Mukti. Mukti means freedom. Jivan means living life. So living life is always in the relative. But living life in perfect freedom, how is it possible? It is possible because you live on the level of 1/4 and you continue to live on the level of 3/4. So 3/4 eternity, 1/4 fluctuations, like that. It's a very beautiful thing, And with these our universities, with these our international universities, everywhere, these fundamental levels of mathematics and equations, we are going to introduce the absolute number. And the absolute number in the equation, theory of numbers, and then theory of language, theory of these alphabets, vowels and consonants. So numbering system, absolute, and the absolute of that is 0. And the language, absolute of language is total. Sound of totality. Everything is within this sound of totality. And what are those things within This is Vedic language alphabets. Has within it E, U, R, R, A, I, O, Au, Aha. These are the 7 syllables that are within A. The total is A. The example is, we hear the sound of a market from a kilometer. It is just one hum. As we go nearer and nearer, within that sound, other sound begins to be heard. And when you go in the market, you are able to hear many sounds that were making that one total sound. So is a sound of all the possible sounds, and all the basic possible sounds have been summed up in terms of 8 sounds, and these 8 sounds come up from one silent sound, para. That now Dr. Hagelin counted para and rapara and all those. So para, that is transcendental field of consciousness, one holistic totality, unified field. And this in unified field, the quantum word, Dr. Hagelin explained it so beautifully, so clearly it was made. Now, this quantum thing in the field of consciousness is a frictionless flow. One thing is that you move forward, move forward. The other thing is you move backward, you move backward. But in this field of the transcendent, it's not a move in any one direction or two directions or one opposite direction. No, all directions at a time. It's a frictionless flow. Frictionless flow. That you go this way and you go this way also. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth. This mind is the instrument for that.